Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Over here at the Go 16, once again, looking at developing severe weather. We've been following a bizarre weather pattern that's been producing one atmospheric river after another, and you can see the setup here in the Central Plains. You've got warm air colliding with cold air. Once again, unseasonably warm air for December is colliding with the typical cold air of December, and it's creating severe weather conditions. Over here at Gizmodo.com, article dated today, December 15th of 2021, talking about dangerous high winds are coming to the U.S. We're going to come back to this article here in just a moment, but you can see the classic setup. The blue is the cold air, the light orange and yellow is the warm air. The collision is right there in the center, and that's where the high winds are currently at. We're going to come back and take a look at that here in just a moment. Right now, I want to take you guys down to the Philippines, looking at a rare December typhoon. This is going to make landfall as a Category 2 storm in the next 24 to 36 hours directly into the center of the Philippines, and this is rare. You don't normally see typhoons in the month of December. It's not completely unheard of, though, especially in the Western Pacific. Here's some different views of this rare cyclone, and to me, the way I follow cyclones is like I follow the angle of the sun. When the sun goes below the equator, so do the cyclones, and that's typically how the cyclone and hurricane seasons run, at least from what I've noticed. Below the equator, the cyclone season is right now underway in the Australia area and down here in the Indonesia area. Above the equator is when we have hurricane season, which goes from June to November. The sun angle is now down here around the 20-degree south latitude. And to have a hurricane up here at the 10-degree north latitude, at least to me, is way out of bounds. But then again, the Western Pacific can have typhoons at any time of the year, but to be this far above the equator, in my humble opinion, that is very rare. You don't see those very often. So if you're in the Philippines, big heads up for a Category 2, quite possibly a Category 3. At one time, that was labeled as a Category 3 storm. Looking at the situation over here in the United States, you can already see more power outages starting to accumulate as a result of the high winds. 28,000 in California, 4,000 in Utah. At one point this morning, we had 5,000 customers in Arizona without electricity, 15,000 in New Mexico, 15,000 Texas, 4K Oklahoma, 40,000 at one time in Nebraska, 53,000 in Colorado, 13,000 Kentucky, that's from the tornadoes, 3,000 in North Carolina, well over 100,000 customers without electricity. I want to show you guys now where the high winds are currently at and where they are potentially going. You can see here above Colorado and New Mexico, winds right now in the 90-mile-an-hour range, 95-mile-an-hour gusts on the New Mexico-Colorado line. That white you see right there is anywhere from 90 to 100-mile-per-hour gusts right now as I do this video, and this is according to windy.com. The overall big picture, you can see it spans multiple states in through Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, up into Kansas, and this is going to move to the northeast over the next 2 or 3 days. The purple and light blue, as you can see right here, represent 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts in between 70 and 80 mile an hour, and that covers a wide area. I want to show you guys where this weather is headed over the next couple of days. It's going to move northeast up through Iowa. Right now you're looking at Thursday, 3 a.m. The bulk of this is going to be up in the Wisconsin area, moving into Michigan, Iowa, Minnesota, and then all day Thursday through the northern central plains up into Canada, into the Ontario area, and Quebec, and that is a very large wind field that's going to be around for the next 24, quite possibly 36 hours. Now coming over to VentureSky.com, getting a closer look at some of these wind reports coming out of the Colorado area. You can see a wide range of 90s spanning anywhere from southern Colorado all the way up to northern Colorado in the north central area. West of Loveland, 91 mile an hour. West of Boulder, 90 miles an hour. Just an unbelievable wind field right now. And again, these winds are moving north-northeast rather quickly, but this system is going to be moving across the Central Plains and could bring more power outages to an even wider area as the day progresses and these winds move from west to east. I don't think there'll be a large tornado outbreak like we saw the other day, but then again, that was unexpected too. It's the same type of weather setup that we saw the other day back on the 10th and the 11th, so don't let your guard down if you're in these areas where the high winds are currently underway. Looking at the Fort Collins area, looking at 92 mile an hour west of Fort Collins, and that would be right now as I do this video. Just incredible. I want to show you guys some bizarre photos that came from this very storm system as it was above Southern California and northern Arizona. This would be from yesterday, December 14th of 2021. I just kind of called it freak sky because some of these clouds you're going to see are quite weird. This was above Victorville, California. Photos sent in by Isaiah's granny out of Victorville. Get a load of that, would you? She took that photo as she was driving down the road as this one cloud, and this wasn't a tornado, just felt like it had to come down and almost touch the ground. How about that? That is one bizarre sky. Again, these photos were taken on December 14th of 2021 from over in California. That is another bizarre photo of a very weird cloud that just came down out of the sky all by itself. There was no other clouds that did it except this one that looks like a classic funnel cloud or the beginnings of a funnel cloud, but it was not. Brandy Moss sent in this photo of another cloud diving down out of the sky. Looks like a big mothership coming in for a landing. Here's another photo by Laura Chavez of yet a different angle of that same sky that you just saw. This was at a slightly different time and a slightly different angle. You can tell by the color. Vanessa sent in this photo of the same one Isaiah's granny saw. Looks like a vortex starting to come down out of the sky. Luckily it wasn't. Michelle noticed the same exact one that Isaiah's granny saw, just at a slightly different time because you can tell by the color. I don't know how long it was in the sky. And once again, those photos are part of this storm system that's moving across the Central Plains right now that is producing winds in excess of 90 miles per hour and in some cases nearly 100 miles per hour. And that's what they're talking about over here at Gizmodo.com. And they go on to say the conditions that will drive the winds are similar to the ones that caused Friday's tornado outbreak. Freak heat over the Midwest and South and a storm screaming out of the West. Temperatures could be as much as 38 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than normal, and dozens of records could fall from Texas to Wisconsin. All in all, 51 weather stations are forecast to tie or beat daily records today from the National Weather Service. The warm air out in front of the storm system will essentially act as a magnet, pulling the cold air toward it, unleashing a wild windstorm. Winds could be anywhere from 50 to 60 up to 100 miles per hour, as we're already seeing right now in the Colorado area, and that's showing up over here at poweroutage.us in the form of a multi-state power outage event once again. So if you guys are in the path of this storm, these high winds, be ready for possible power outages and a multitude of high winds and wind gusts anywhere in the neighborhood of 80, quite possibly clear up to 100 miles per hour. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.